Yo, what is up folks, Chef TCG here, and we're looking at Dredge after Wilds. Because we have some new tools, if you're not familiar with the deck, this is one of my favourite decks in the format. I've done a whole load of videos on it and different iterations across both Explorer and Pioneer, which we're looking at here, and then also historic versions of the deck. But the new card here I want to look at is Cruel Somnophage, an adventure creature from the Wilds of Eldraine. 1 and a black, power and toughness equals the number of creature cards in all graveyards. Sounds pretty good already, but also has this can't wake up ability, and that's kind of the icing on the cake here. 1 and a blue, sorcery, target player mills 4 cards. Obviously going to target ourselves here. The idea, put cards on our graveyard, bring back some prize amalgams, still some like ghouls and some other stuff. Cross Somnophage enables our kind of like self-mill plan while also giving us this massive threat. And so we've got a little bit of a new spin on things and built it a bit differently. So let's kind of go through the list. At 1, we have a My Favorite Secret Keeper, Otherworldly Gaze, and Stitches of Supply. These are kind of our bread and butter 1-mana Dredge enablers. So Secret Keeper has the Venture Deeper Adventure, target player mills 4 cards. Otherworldly Gaze gives you some control over your draw step, lets you find lands, lets you like kind of like control, look for your next enabler, and make sure that things like Creeping Chill go to the graveyard. But blue, Surveil 3, and then also has flashback, 1 and a blue from the graveyard as well, giving you some extra value. Stitches Supply comes up the ground, but also ECB or dies mill 3 cards. The 1 mana spells are kind of like our bread and butter, and then 2 we start to get a bit more like spicy. Bounding the Third Path here as a good enabler, and a bit of a bonus too. So 1 and a blue, read ahead, so it comes in as a saga, and you can kind of skip along if you want to. The first step is casting an instant sorcery for your hand with mana value 1 or 2. So obviously this can be like Otherworldly Gaze. It can also be Secret Keeper with Venture Deeper Sorcery, or with Cruel Somnophage we also have Count Wake Up, and then it can also be Sovereign's Bite, which we're using as well. Okay, you get some nice mill stuff. It's worth noting at this point that in Pioneer you also get Breaking and Entering, blue and black for target player mills 8, which is like a really important ignition effect, and lets you just like dump a bunch of cards in the graveyard, really high chance of hitting like Amalgam, Moat Ghoul, and Creeping Chill, and just bring up a bunch of power. So that has that kind of like big spike there as well, but still really strong here on Explorer on an Arena. The second step here, target player mills 4 cards, sweet, nice additional value, and then the third step, exile target instant sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it, you may cast the copy. So from the graveyard actually, you can't obviously use the adventure cards, but things like Sovereign's Bite here, Otherworldly Gaze, you get some extra cast there. We also have Call of the Death Dweller, or if you've like had to discard Creeping Chill to like Haunted Dead or something like that, and you end up with stuck one in your hand, you can also flashback that in a pinch. But we have some reach here with like being able to like Sovereign's Bite like with flashback potential later on. Narcomoeba, obviously the best free enabler. If you mill it, it goes onto the battlefield. Free ways to trigger Prize Amalgam, just very solid. Somnophage, obviously a new card. And 1 and a blue, target player mills 4. You can cast off out on the third path, but then 1 and a black gives you a massive threat to be out in the graveyard, which kind of allows you to start doing things with Call of the Death Dweller. The last 2 things here, Sovereign's Bite, gives the deck a lot of reach, but 3 life is really important. Obviously, you're kind of lightning healing your opponent, and then you can kind of like, okay, I'm going to cast this, and then later on flash it back. But additionally, this is 3 life, which triggers Silver Moat Ghoul, if you're not familiar. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield. It's a 3/1 by itself. You can sacrifice a draw card, but also triggers your prize amalgams and kind of like gets you a bunch of power into play. The other card that Somnophage really enables is Call of Death Dweller. We're going to play a couple of copies here. It basically like return up to 2 creature cards, total mana value 3 or less, from your graveyard to the battlefield. The Death Catch counter on 1, put a menace on the other one. We can bring back Somnophage, and because it's up to 3 mana value, you can bring like Stitch Supply, Somnophage, there's some value here, but it also additionally will trigger all your prize amalgam stuff. So we're trying this out here, and for me it's been really good so far. You're milling through a ton of cards, you're going to have stuff in your graveyard, being able to bring back like, alright, I'm going to bring back Stitch Supply, which is like another enabler, mill some more cards. Somnophage is a massive threat, and then also trigger all my prized amalgams in the graveyard. Really great. So it's been really an all-star so far. The last things here, Haunted Dead. At 4 mana. ETB, make a spirit, but the important thing here is 1 and a black, discard 2 cards, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. This is basically a way to get prized amalgams that we draw into our hand into our graveyard. And so we want to like mill through a Haunted Dead at some point so that we can kind of dump any additional things we have in our hand. And then also it coming out of the graveyard will then trigger the prized amalgams that you discard. So just a really strong way to enable that, and a way to kind of like deal with drawing multiple prized amalgams into your hand where they're kind of stuck. Casted for 3 mana is not very efficient. But yeah. And also, hey, flying evasive attackers can be quite nice. And the kind of like Dredge all-star across all formats, Creeping Chill, 3 and a black, but you're not really casting it if you can help it. 3 damage to each opponent and you gain 3 life. When it's put into your graveyard from your library, you may exile it. If you do, Creeping Chill deals 3 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3 life. If you mill through it, you drain for 3. Again, 3 the important number, trigger Silver Smoke Ghoul, but obviously also 7 times 3 is 21, which is enough life to, you know, kill your opponent, given these are all like 3 power creatures. Pretty sweet, pretty sweet. This is where I'm at with the show at the moment. The lands are very, very straightforward. 4 Watery Grave, 4 Underground River, 4 Darkslick Shores, 4 Pathway, and then 1 each of Ottawara and Takanuma, kind of using the utility lands here. Takanuma obviously mills great. And gets back a creature, so you can like mill yourself for a few cards and get back an enabler, like Stitcher Supplier or Somnophage. Ottawara just being a bit of a catch-all thing to like deal with pesky artifacts and enchantments. Post-board, we've been playing in best of 1 here. It deals post-board, it's one of your ways to kind of like end step, bounce, rest in peace, untap, mill a bunch of stuff, try and bring back some power. But I would really recommend, at least on Arena for the time being, without having Breaking Entering as your big like powerhouse card, to largely sit to best of 1 with Dredge. I've played it at a bunch of best of 3. There are tons of videos on the channel with it on best of 3. But obviously you're facing a ton of graveyard hate. People are packing graveyard hate for Greasefang. Hey, you kind of get hit in this crossfire. And it can be really tough when it's game 2 or 3. The Dredge thing typically is you win game 1 and you kind of have to struggle through games 2 and 3 to try and crawl one of them out playing against the hate cards. If you're interested in sideboard stuff, things like Thoughtseize are really good, and Spell Pierce to kind of like take away your opponent's graveyard hate. Let's see how the deck looks in a ranked game. If you're not ready, please do subscribe to the channel, and let's take a look. Alright, ranked match with Dredge. It looks like a really strong opening hand. We've got like 2 enablers and such as players. We've got the Somnophage. Sure, these cards aren't the best, but you kind of deal with like, hey, you got a couple of enablers. Here we've got 3, and lands to cast them. Got to be pretty happy about that. See what our opponent says. Alright, gonna lead off with Stitches of Blow. Low crash, please. We did mill a Creeping Chill, we'll exile that. And we did hit a Prize Amalgam, okay, cool. Let's find a way to bring that back. Founding, this is again kind of perfect. Completion Forest, not much to read from this. Could be something like boats, but they've got like a Gigantha. A little wary. We'll play Founding on 1. We're going to use the Somnophage ability here for Can't Wake Up. We'll mill ourselves for 4. See what we hit here. Oh. More Somnophages into the graveyard isn't perfect. Okay, so here we're going to mill 4 off of this on after our draw step. I think because we don't have tons to do at the minute, I'm actually going to flash back this Otherworldly Gaze, try and dig for either another card or a land. It's a good timing window to cast it. They're going to come straight into the red zone here. So yeah, we now got Price Amalgam. Like the other thing we'd be doing this turn is casting Stitcher Supplier. This way we're also being a bit more mana efficient too. Alright, I'm going to dump the Secret Keepers, keep the land on top, and that way we'll be able to cast the Stitcher Supplier. That's fine. And we've got a 3rd land for like Silver Smoke Ghoul. We can get that into the graveyard. So go to our main phase, mill 4 cards off the Founding. See what we hit here. 2 Silver Smoke Ghouls in the graveyard. Would be great to hit Creeping Chill here. I'm gonna. They're all tapped out. I'm just gonna take this now. See the cards. 9. Alright. We have another Gaze in the graveyard, but now we have quite a lot of things here. I'm more likely to cast a Somnophage here because it's a massive threat. Before it was still like, hey, reasonable. One of the things to bear in mind is that, like, when you're looking at Somnophage's power, remember that you're bringing things out of your graveyard. Oh gosh, this is a disaster. I will cast this with a discounted cost. We'll do that. Oh, Narcomoeba's Clutch. We'll mill over the... I was going to say I'll mill over the Somnophage. So, Office is actually a nightmare because it exiles cards from our graveyard. These brings back all the Price Amalgams, the land. I think I do want. Go on. So actually, we've already. I should have put that. I should have probably put that land in the graveyard. All right, those are triggered here. Let's go into the red zone here. I was going to exile 1 card. Let's just make the Somnophage, I think. You still have the option to draw the land. They probably exile, well, I guess they exile a Silver Smoke Ghoul. They are under, you know, lethal damage, potentially. Yeah, if they exile a land, they get mana, but otherwise they're gaining some life and dealing us some damage. Which is annoying, but obviously the exiling a card thing is not very nice. They opted not to exile either Silver Mogul actually, which is good for us. But hey, does also depower the Somnophage. So if they've got a way here, I've seen they're on like bar class type things. Yeah. If they have a way here to power up the Clothis to be able to block, we might be in some trouble. They're going to scoop it up. Alright, well, I guess I'll show you another game. Nice win versus Red Green there. On the play this time, we have Amalgam and a Creeping Tool in hand, but we also have Otherworldly Gaze Founding, so I'm a little torn. I think I'm going to keep, even though it looks sketchy. Realistically, we can find a way to put Prize Amalgam into our graveyard. I'm going to leave with Otherworldly Gaze on our turn. One important thing to know is that if you don't have Silver Mogul, dump these, right? And maybe we want to draw the Secret Keeper. Yeah, that's fine. If you like hit Creeping Chill or whatever to trigger Silver Mogul itself only looks for that life on your turn. Cool. So we draw the Secret Keeper. Now we can Founding. We lose on step 1. Farmland implies blue-white control. We'll go ahead and mill house before. No Yorion, but they could be on like the field version still. Stuff. Oh no. Alright, we've drawn the second Creeping Chill. Awkward. We've not hit a land either. I'm going to stick to my guns, Otherworldly Gaze now. Let's leave the Somnophage on top. That provides a lot of extra juice. The other thing to note is that if we hit lands, then we can cast these. Trick Proctor, so it is, in fact, the Lotus Field variant. Yeah, we don't really have anything to call. I kind of want to cast Somnophage. I'll exile a copy of this. Feels pretty awkward, huh? Alright, attack here. Maybe that's a reason to have Sovereign's Blooded. Down for that plan. Okay, nice. So we did hit Creeping Chill, which means that we've got that and the additional Silver Mogul we just got to bring back. But the bonus is that this Prize Amalgam is actually going to come back on their end step. So if they have like a Wrath effect here, they actually dodge it. We do need to start worrying a little bit about Farewell. Not yet, at least, but hey, maybe soon. And my general rule is not to play around Sail or Wreckage in best of 1. Unless you absolutely can afford to, it's really, really tough. We'll just make some attacks. Wandering Emperor. Fair enough. Gonna exile Prize Amalgam here. Just, you know, not our favourite. They do take a bit of damage. So I want to basically hold the Sovereign's Bite until these Silver Moguls get wrapped away. And cast Somnophage. Hope that does. It's currently just a 2-2, but we'll be able to restock our graveyard with some more creatures. I'm going to set this upkeep so that I have the opportunity to get Otherworldly Gaze if I want to. So at the minute they have 1 field, which means they're untapping 4 mana. The Fairy's like the real engine behind this deck. Like once you have the Lotus Field in play, you make another one, you can just untap 6 mana for free each turn. It's pretty good. So I'm gonna Otherworldly Gaze here. Yeah. Do some upkeep. Try and find a useful card for us to draw. Given the state of our hand, I want to get a Haunted Den into our graveyard and find us some lands to draw. They're thinking about interacting with this by the looks of it. I'm curious to see what they're thinking. Actually, power up the Somnophage. I'm gonna dump all of these and maximize our chance of drawing a land. We do in fact hit attack and Numa. Alright. Yeah, 5 mana, I'm just gonna attack with all these. So unfortunately we have 2 Creeping Chills on hand and 2 exiles. There's no more left in the library. One of the things worth keeping track of for sure. I'll play this out. Alright, so they're going to try and find a farewell, basically. The upside here is that we have a Sovereign's Bite, we have Creeping Chill, like we can potentially burn them out. Even if they have the Wrath effect. I'm still going to set this stop, just in case. Okay, so they have a normal Wrath effect. Feels okay. Assumably this is another farewell, because they probably aren't playing multiple Doomskars, especially if they're not on Yorion. Given that all just happened, I'm going to draw naturally and not flash like this. Ooh. Feel bad because this one would have been great in the graveyard. But we'll try and Sovereign's Bite here. Fully expected to run into a counter spell. So the highest upside thing. Okay, that brings back all the prize amount. That brings back all the ghouls. Now, are they gonna maybe Memory Deluge again, try and find another farewell? They are at 1. I'll set the stop back up. Did grab a couple of the cards. See what the situation is. It was the second Doomskar. Okay, I was wrong. My bad. Proctor. Land. Trigger. I still kind of assume that they have counter magic. Have a look. We have 3 Narcoebas left in the deck. With no actual prize amalgams in our graveyard right now. I'll draw naturally. Alright, well. That means we get to try this. We try and Creeping Chill for the win. Expecting, again, surely they have a cat star in it somewhere. Gyro Disruption feels bad, but really it's fine. They're pretty close to being able to start exiling our with Teferi though.
Let's skip to the good part.
They have pretty much infinite cards. Like, if we had a way to force their hand, it would be okay. But given the double Lotus Field untapped, it's just not really I will try and cast my Creeping Chill, and when that is inevitably countered, we will scoop it up. I do love discontinuity as a time walk. Wait, yeah, exile itself. Discontinuity, not familiar, just end of the turn. Is one of the ways to like not the Lotus Field. Right. With the Dream Trawler, every draw step, or every draw they take now, they're going to be exiling one of our lands. I'll take one more. 25, but this also gains them a bunch of life. So We will GG. That is all our Creeping Chills gone, unfortunately. Alright, well. Alright, last match. That 1 versus Blue White was pretty tough. There's some particular cards like Farewell, which just kind of lights out against us. So we really have to put a lot of damage in early. Maybe should have looked in there. This one, even though we have a 1-lander, I think I'm going to keep. We're on the draw, and we also have Otherworldly Gaze to find us a land. Spirits, oh my. They wouldn't sacrifice here, right? They wouldn't. We will grab the Clearwater Pathway to have a non-painful land. And these Creeping Chills are going to do double duty here. You can get kind of like paced over the top as the spirits. It's the blue-white version, but interesting. We get like the largest number of cards like long term. It's like we could go Secret Keeper, Stitch Supplier. But I think the founding sets us up a little bit better. Or better support turns. We'll play this on 1 and we will Somnophage. Mill ourselves. Again, they can counter this off the... Oh. Okay, Amalgam's good. Just want to be wary of the Lords. Obsessions, sure, so we get a 15 here. End of the world. Now they can have counter magic, which is tough. But we also have a bunch of stuff they can't really interact with. Which is great. Speaking of which, the Haunted Dead are going to be pretty good, I imagine. Let's go ahead and Secret Keeper ourselves then. They have a pretty good idea what's going on here. We've only got 1 amalgam though. I'm saying go. Feels bad. Likely to be very close. The way this has gone. Do it this way around. You can actually do some stuff. Also, getting the Maslin Water off the battlefield would be good. Obviously, any Flash Spirit here does save it. And sure, this is Spectral Savior. But hey. Do anything we currently want to flash back. The Call of Deathwell is pretty good, but isn't going to resolve. I think we're just going to end up targeting a targeting an Otherworldly Gaze. Every time I think about flashing something back, like flashing back Otherworldly Gaze, we always draw into a Creeping Chill. I'm always like, nah, it'll be fine. Then we draw Creeping Chill, I'm like, this is the worst. As our opponent has pointed out, though, or spotted, can Haunted Dead from our graveyard again. Narcomoeba is good. I'm gonna bottom both of these. There's a player on top is probably fine. Go send attack with these. They're on 12. There's some like fairly decent blockers. Ooh. That's not fantastic. This is. Just some blocks in. They've got 3 mana. I don't hate this. Just forcing them to kind of do what we've got going on in play. Bar humbug. annoying. Go to 6. Cast Supplier first. Unarch Amoebas. Somnophage is currently a 6/6. Go ahead and do this. 1 copy. 2 copies of Creeping Chilgon. Yeah, let's make the Somnophage, put it into play. Try to make them have blockers. Or force them to. They can also tap some stuff. Oh, I'm fine with this. It's also powerful up the Somnophage. I don't necessarily want to. Let's see how the attacks go first. If we want mana open, I'm like a little wary of Spellquell. Like, okay, this rattle changes to some kind of exile effect. If it's rattle changes to Sky 3 Apparition, it's pretty awkward. This is unfortunately not a spirit. Yeah, go on. Yeah, this is still representing quite a bit of damage. Go ahead and gaze. They can sacrifice the Wanderer. Oh. Now do they sacrifice? I guess I'll leave blood on top. 3, 4, 5, 7. Oh, I do have more. The Brazen Borrower, but then they have a spirits to trigger the Mausoleum Wanderer. 9, so they need 3 triggers or a Lord effect. Ooh. They are drawing cards. They do be drawing. Alright, let's force them to use uselesses first. Is there on 2 life? Oh, we don't need the Sovereign Sprite. Well, that's been nice. Well, that is my latest version of Dredge. Played out pretty well. There are some particular cards that you struggle against main deck still, things like Farewell and stuff like that. But hey, I think considering the matches we played, we did pretty good, pretty good. The new stuff, Somnophage has been pretty awesome. I'm liking the Call of Death Dweller, but it's some other tech. There's a lot of different bits you can mess around with. If you check out some of my other Dredge videos, the last one actually was with Cat Oven, which is actually really strong because the treasure bring back Silver Moat Ghouls, as well as all the cats bringing back Price of Amalgam, and just being another way to kind of grind your opponent out. Is another way to look at it, but it's still really, really good. This version, I think, is really, really streamlined. I love the Sovereign's Blights, really, really cool. And when you get to bring back Somnophage and supply it with Call of Death Dweller, really, really good too. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff, share it around. I'd really appreciate it. And peace out. Thanks for watching.